Hey, what's going on, parents? Happy Teenager Tuesday. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Will Perry. I'm the lead student pastor here at Hope. And with me today is the brand new students at hopefellowship.net that none of you have met. Well, probably most of you have never met her in person before. Who are you, new person?
Oh, hello. My name is Meg McClain, and I am the new student admin, which means I am also students at hopefellowship.net.
That's right.
I will introduce myself.
Yeah. Okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Meg. First podcast you've ever done?
This is the first podcast I've ever done.
There we go.
So we'll see how it goes. I am married. I have two girls. They are 14 and 10. So my 14-year-old will be a subject of a lot of things today.
Yeah. Is your 10-year-old still very sweet? Not
mostly,
super? Mostly.
She's getting a little more of an attitude. But, she's definitely more...
Takes
she's
after
not quite
her dad.
There yet. Yeah, probably. We have been coming to Hope Fellowship for 13 years.
Cool.
Yep. So both my girls have grown up here, and I have worked at Hope for about 2.5 years.
Yeah.
I was working in Connections at the Frisco East campus. And then I just started this position.
Yeah. And for those of you who know Kira, she just moved to another department. She's still at Hope. She's still working at Hope, but now she's the admin for the groups department now. And then, which obviously created a void. And Meg has stepped in now for a month and a half, 2 months-ish
month and a half, I think.
that we're going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so if you need to... Most of the time, when people communicate with our student department, it's emailing students at hopefellowship.net. You can email me directly if you want, wper@hopefellowship.net too. But speaking of communication, we are talking. We're going to take 4 weeks and talk about communication between parent and student and why sometimes that seems difficult. Tips, strategies on what we can do, what we can try, maybe what you have tried before, and encourage you in that. And just kind of really taking a few weeks and digesting communication, and we're talking about it. And we're calling it Lost in Translation because it's not always easy communicating with people in general. And sometimes it's not easy communicating with teenagers that live at our houses.
Yeah.
You were telling me before we recorded about you talking to your daughter about this.
Yes. First of all, I did think it was ironic when I realized the topic of this one that Will asked me to do with him because I'm definitely in the middle of trying to figure all of this out. But I told my daughter I was going to ask her some questions about this. And so I told her what the topic was. And I said, do you have any thoughts about communicating with teenagers? And she said, I think you shouldn't. I think you should just leave them alone. So she was probably about 60% serious and 40% joking, but that's where we're at. So
yeah, which is don't talk to us.
Yeah,
don't talk to us
and
at
then
all.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, and if you're frustrated, people for eons have been frustrated with teenagers and trying to figure it out. I believe it was Plato who once said that he wished there was an island that you could send adolescents to until they came back as a sane adult. So even the stoics who are trying to figure out life, they're frustrated with teenagers and trying to communicate with them. And so to start, we're going to talk about 8 reasons, and we're going to go kind of fast. 8 reasons why it could be difficult for you and your teenagers, middle school, high schoolers, why it can sometimes be difficult trying to communicate at home. Number 1 is the teenagers, middle school, high school, they're still learning about themselves, what they like, what they dislike, what their personality is. So they don't even know what they like in communication and what they like for that to sound like. And they're figuring all of it out, and it's really awkward sometimes, and sometimes when it's not awkward, it's aggressive, and in rare glimpses, it works. So number 1, they're learning about themselves, and number 2, they don't have much practice. I like to think about it as if you're learning to dance, but you've never danced before, you look really awkward and jaggedy. Dance like Elaine from Seinfeld is what I picture, if you've seen that show. Anyway, they don't know. So when a student says I don't know, a lot of times maybe it's true, but there are things that we can do to try to maybe pull some growth in that area out of it as they learn and practice articulating themselves. Yeah. Meg, what's number 3?
Number 3 is that they are going through a lot of change during this time. Frances Jensen is one person who's done research on the teenage brain, and she says that the part of the brain that helps us connect with others is one of the last things to develop. So they literally are learning how to even think about connection right now. That's why it is our jobs to teach them, even though we're not always great at it ourselves. So we try to teach them.
Yeah.
But it's just an awkward time. I mean, I'm sure we can remember ourselves during middle school and high school, just kind of trying to figure things out. Sometimes they still act like a kid and want to be a kid and want to be able to be more carefree. Sometimes they want to act like an adult and they want to be treated like an adult.
Yeah.
And they're kind of stuck in that middle, so it can be difficult for them.
Yeah.
And then while that's going on, they're trying to figure out, what am I good at? Who am I? All these kind of things, their traits and their talents. And they're kind of like a puzzle, like a 10,000 piece puzzle. And it's kind of like when they get to puberty, they've got the outline and then they have to fill everything else in.
Yes.
Through a lot of trial and error.
Yeah. At our expense, at the parents' expense sometimes. Number 4, very practical reason, maybe why not, is maybe they're just not getting enough sleep. That obviously affects focus. It affects how well we're able to think. I'm having a little bit of trouble today, honestly, because I had some trouble sleeping last night, and then my youngest is still not sleeping through the night, so that wakes me up. So it's like, if you have bad sleep, it just affects you throughout the day. And one, again, very practical way to help with that is don't let their phone be in the room. Tim Elmore has really good research on sleep that shows having even the device in the room messes with the sleep of a teenager pretty bad.
Yeah. I will say one other thing about that too, because I have talked to some parents that don't know about this, is you can set downtime on their phone if you have your phones connected. So like I have my daughters where her phone will totally shut off at a certain time each night because that is also tempting. Even your parents are asleep, you're still awake, you could sneak out and get your phone. So that just gives me some peace of mind knowing that it's totally shut off and it's not an option.
iPhone has some really good parent controls.
It does.
Yeah. What's number 5?
Okay, number 5 is when we are not giving them enough praise. If our feedback that is not so positive is outweighing the positive encouragements that we're giving them, or there's so many just rules piled up that that's all you're ever talking about and you don't get any time to build relationship or have fun together. One thing I have definitely noticed is that unfortunately, I think my daughter remembers the times that I have corrected her, gotten onto her, criticized her as she feels, that kind of thing. She remembers those moments a lot more than she remembers moments that I have tried to encourage her or praise her. It's just the way humans are. We tend to remember negative things more than we remember positive things.
Yeah. John Acuff, he's an author and speaker. I was in a conference one time and he talked about critics' math being 10 to 1.
Yeah.
10 good things said about you and to you equals 1 criticism. Yeah. So if, maybe that's a good ratio for us to just kind of operate on. Like, where is our ratio with our kids?
Yeah, probably so. It is unfortunate that that's how it is, but it's true.
Yeah. What's number 6?
Okay, number 6. They may be struggling because we freak out whenever they try to talk to us. I have definitely been guilty of that, of overreacting, especially if I'm frustrated, if I'm tired, or, have other stuff going on. So I have had to learn how to try to stay calm, fix my face a little bit sometimes, not causing the argument to build and get worse. There's the thermometer versus thermostat example of where we want to be the ones to... Hold on, I'm going to get it backwards.
No, you get which is which. The thermometer takes the temperature. Thermostat sets it.
Yeah, there it is.
So in those conversations, we want to set the tone. We don't want to react to the tone as best as we can. Don't freak out as best as you can. And watch your face. I have to do the same things when I talk with people. My face says too much sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else on that?
Just also to forgive yourself and give yourself some grace because we are human. So there are times when I have felt really bad after I didn't handle something right. Yeah. But I just try to remind myself I am the adult in the conversation, and try to, one thing somebody told me one time that helped was to always be trying to bring them up to my level instead of letting her pull me down to her level when she's losing it.
Yeah, that's good. 2 more quick things. And then actually, you know what? Let's do a giveaway if you're listening. Number 7 is communication has not been the norm. If open communication, if trying to find ways to communicate and connect with your kid has not been the norm, then it will feel abnormal. So there's only one way to make it feel normal is to do it more often and to try and see and do what you can. And then number 8 is monkey see, monkey do. Are we as adults good communicators? And if we evaluate how we communicate with our spouses, our boyfriend, girlfriend, our neighbors, our small group, what does our communication, vulnerability, openness, like, are we good at that? Have we evaluated how we do it? As is number 8. The giveaway, and then we'll sign off, is we mentioned the Francis Jensen quote earlier in this podcast. He wrote a book called The Teenage Brain, which is a really good book. And if anybody wants that book, for the first 3 people who email students@hopefellowship.net and say, give me that book, we will give you that book. We'll get you that book. For now, we'll be back next week as we talk about this. But for now, parents, always remember you can do this. You're not alone. God is with you, and so are we. Have a great week.